Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My husband degrades me every single day.
Just go kill yourself, loser! I hate your guts!
They vowed
I felt obligated to marry Julie.
He married you out of pity.
to love and to cherish.
But I have never put my hands on you.
You just said that you should be.
For richer, for poorer,
I don't really like you. Your attitude sucks.
for better, for worse.
You're just killing me!
I think you're a loudmouth bully when you're behind closed doors. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. How you doing, guys? How are you? You are about to meet a husband who believes a marriage should be treated like a business and has half-jokingly said a perfect wife should be mute. Paul says he married his girlfriend Julie back in 2011 out of pity. And he thought it was a good business opportunity until about 3 years ago when he says Julie became a burden. He describes her as a bull in a china shop, breaking everything in a house from the DVD player to dinner plates to doors. When it comes to vehicles, she is a car crash, literally. Paul says she has been in 6 accidents in 5 years. But the last time she crashed a car, he screamed that she was an idiot who should only be allowed to ride a horse. Here's some of that reaction.
I told you to stop taking that car to the mall anyway. You can't even operate a car like that. You need a horse. I'm so sick of you. Go the away from me. Just go kill yourself, you loser. And I hate you.
Well, Julie says that's not all that rare. She says Paul calls her a moron a lot. She says he's changed from being a loving partner to a hostile, abusive husband who treats her worse than he treats the dogs. He even sided with his son when Julie says the teen cut her finger with his dad's machete. Now, Paul says this whole marriage as a business plan has backfired, and he wants to know if he should cut his losses now.
My husband Paul degrades me every single day.
I felt obligated to marry Julie. She really, really wanted me to. Now I feel a little bit of resentment towards it because Julie makes me feel like I'm just a frustrated monster all the time.
I'm so sick of you.
Paul has grabbed me by the neck, thrown mail in my face, thrown a glass of water in my face, punched walls.
Julie instigates fights, argues with me. She nags about things.
Sometimes I do have to tell Paul 4 or 5 times to do something.
99 times I'm good. It's the 100th. It's just too much. Tell her to shut up.
Go the away from me.
Julie's constantly breaking things in the house that I have to fix.
So this is what it takes to operate the Blu-ray player. That's all you do. This is the way Julie operates the Blu-ray player. Until the thing's broken.
When things stop working around the house, Paul blames it on me and says it's my fault.
Well, here's how Julie uses the remote.
Julie's horrible at handling finances. In the last 2 years, I bet she's overdrawn the account at least 50 times.
It seems like bad things do happen to me, and it's not my fault.
Sometimes I feel like I'm married to a child. She's more of a burden than a wife.
Okay. Charming. You've been together 13 years. You've been married 5.
Yeah, we've been married almost 5 years, yes, sir.
Yeah. Why are you staying together if you make each other this miserable?
Because I love him, and I want it to work. I want to fix this. That's why I'm here.
If you think she's such a burden, why have you not unburdened yourself?
You know, it hasn't always been this way. For the past couple of years, it's been pretty intense, though. And I don't want to quit, you know? I don't want to just... Because I feel like it's some give and take here. You know, obviously, I have some things I could improve on, but we really need to get down to some accountability for a few things so that we can move forward. And I think these are fixable. If I didn't, then I wouldn't.
Why did you marry her?
Because I do love Julie. I do.
Well, you told us that you married her because you felt obligated.
Well, we've been together a long time, and, you know, at some point I did feel a little obligated, but I also do love Julie.
Well, here, let's just listen to what you said.
I felt obligated to marry Julie. She really, really wanted me to. Now I feel a little bit of resentment towards it. Sometimes I feel like I'm married to a child. She's more of a burden than a wife. There it is.
There it is. I don't make this stuff up. How do you feel about that?
I'm sad.
Why are you laughing?
Because I'm shocked. But you shouldn't have married me out of burden.
He didn't marry you out of burden. He married you out of pity.
But you
He said he felt
me,
obligated because he had been with you for so many years that he felt like you were respecting him too, and so he felt like he just kind of had to do it.
I married you because I was in love with you. Remember the first night we met? I'm embarrassed. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I understand. You can't change what you don't acknowledge, and I like to get everything on the table to see where we are. I made a list of all the complaints that he told us about you and all the ones you told us about him, because those become a to-do list, right? And his complaints about you are that you instigate fights, that you bring conflict and instability to the marriage, no courtesy for Paul's thoughts, that you nag, never apologizes or takes blame, has overdrawn bank account over 50 times, 15 jobs in a year, crashed 6 cars, breaks the remote control DVD players, so negative that he can't have the son at the house.
Well, the son's not at the house, and you know why.
Because he attacked you with a machete?
Yes, absolutely.
A while back, my son was visiting me on the weekend, and I was at work, and Julie said he got out of hand and swung a machete at her.
Paul's son had the machete in his hand, and he was waving it just like this. Stay away from me, stay away from me.
Julie called me on the phone. It was getting crazy. He cut her, and she was crying.
He physically violated me and purposely took that machete out underneath our bed.
I do believe that you were hurt. I don't believe that he hurt you.
Okay.
It wasn't certainly intentional.
There's our disrespected problem.
My son's a straight and narrow kid. He makes straight A's. He's a vegan. He's just a good kid. I just didn't believe that it went down like that.
This was violently insane. Shing, sham, shing, 3 times. I have 3 cuts on my hand. Was lacerated here to the bone.
He said that he was in my room with the machete in his hand, and Julie came in and grabbed the machete and snatched it out of his hand and cut herself.
Paul didn't punish his son at all for it.
Julie said I had to make a choice between her or my son. She wanted me to completely believe her and put him in jail. But that's not going to happen.
I felt so disrespected.
Julie brings on the drama.
I mean, you can't treat me that way, and now your son thinks it's okay to treat me that way. Like, be violent with me. I mean, beat me up. You can't be physically violent with a lady. Now your son thinks it's okay to do it.
Did the son have the machete and he was waving it around?
Yes, sir.
Did you rush in and try to take it away from him?
No, I was begging him to put it down. He whooped it out underneath the covers, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was begging him, just like this, Paul, please put it down, and he went, ch, ch, ch.
And what did he say?
That I provoked the son to do it, and and he's even thought that I did it to myself.
You thought
I just found this out
cut herself to create
yesterday.
drama?
For the record, I didn't take anyone's side. You put me in the middle of that situation, and you got to know, I've known this kid since he was a baby, and he's never done anything like this.
Okay.
However, you, on the other hand, will push a lot of buttons to get attention, and I just thought, you know, maybe there's some truth to both sides. I was sick of it. You know, I was sick about it. How do you handle
can't
something
allow
like
your
that?
son to cut your gosh darn wife.
You see this? I'm allowing it.
This is
I wasn't
yes,
even
you
there.
have. You didn't discipline him. You didn't. I mean, you can't be just
I
the
couldn't
weekend
just
father.
throw
You
him
have
under
to
the bus
stand
because
up
you
and.
said that. It's kind
But
of a
I'm
big
your
deal.
wife. You should back me up. I'm a 47-year-old woman, and it's a 15-year-old child.
Okay.
The outcome is.
We've got to take a break. Julie has a list, too. So there's been 900 fights in the last 5 years, according to her. And she says he's been aggressive from the start. Kicked her out of the house and beat her with a shoe, according to her. When we come back, 2 years ago, Julie called the police on Paul, but the police decided it was her that needed to be arrested. She'll tell us why when we come back.
I got in a very heated fight.
Just go kill yourself!
That's when he pushed me up against the wall with my neck.
You were pretty upset, and you were right in my face, and maybe I did push you a little hard, but you were right in my face.
Paul tried to strangle me.
And later,
You had to go on TV to do that?
Yep.
Okay.
I've been listening to you yell and scream at her in a highly abusive way, so yeah, I think you did have to come on TV to do that, because I think you're a loudmouth bully when you're behind closed doors.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Your parents asked us to escort you to Dr. Phil.
I don't need help.
She's beautiful
We don't want you in jail. Why would I end up in jail?
Because you're breaking the law.
and out of control.
You're not going to class!
This young man is autistic. Have you bullied him?
No, I love that kid.
You say she's made you take her shopping and get her nails done.
I tried to say no, but she gets threatening.
That's tomorrow.
3 years ago, I found Paul's phone. Paul was texting at least about 50 messages back and forth. They were discussing what they were wanting to do with each other sexually. I was disgusted. When I confronted Paul about these texts, he said that they were just playing around. But to even do that is so disrespectful towards me.
Well, instead of words of love, Julie says her husband, Paul, of 5 years, calls her a moron, stupid, idiot, and useless. Now, even the police have been called to break up their altercations.
Paul's a very, very strong man, and if he wanted to hurt me, he could.
I'm so sick of you! Go the away from me!
One time Paul got so violent with me, I had to call the police.
Just go kill yourself!
Paul and I got in a very heated fight.
I didn't do anything. I didn't touch it.
I threw a little small dish on the floor. I started getting really, really upset and uptight, so I went to leave the room. That's when he pushed me up against the wall with my neck, and I felt myself going higher and higher.
You were pretty upset, and you were right in my face, and maybe I did push you a little hard, but you were right in my face.
He grabbed me by the neck and lifted me up off the ground. I was so scared that when he finally let me go, I called the police. When the police came, Paul acted very cool, calm, and collected. When I was telling my story, they didn't believe me. I was getting more upset.
They showed up, you got lippy with them, he told you to sit down and be quiet and be calm. You start snatching your hands back from him, and he put the cuffs on you.
They said I was acting crazy and belligerent, so I was arrested. But Paul tried to strangle me and could have killed me.
Why did you get belligerent with the police?
Because they didn't believe me that he was strangling me.
Well, Julie has complaints about Paul. He says, I'm sorry too many times, that it loses its meaning. Treats dogs better than he treats Julie. Hit with a shoe, kicked out of the house, grabbed arms and shook her. Picked up by the neck, called useless, moron, loser. Threw glass of water at her, threw mail at her. Has sex 6 times a year, won't fix the house. When did you hit her with a shoe?
I don't remember.
Did you hit her with a shoe?
I think I slapped her on the butt with a shoe, if that's what we're talking about.
You took your damn flip-flop out on me and slapped me around in it, and then you packed my bags and put me out, and I had to walk to the freaking hotel, sleep in a hotel that night.
This was before you got married?
Yes, sir. He said he was sorry, and then he would never do it again.
Right.
And everything was great for several years, and...
When did it go bad? What changed?
Well, some pretty big issues, like the deal with my son, and the whole not working thing. I mean, I've had the same job for over 12 years, and it's not very...
So you resent her being unstable job-wise?
Sure, it affects me. It's not really a money thing as much as it is security, and, hey, we're not doing the right thing here, you know?
Right. Did it bother you that he was sexting with a couple of friends?
What do you think? I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Well, I asked you where it ran off the rails. He didn't mention that. I wonder if he just forgot that. Well, did that contribute to the drama?
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh, this was over 2 years, almost 3 years ago.
So it's about the same time things started unraveling.
You embarrassed yourself doing it. Not only me and family, you embarrassed me, yourself. Why would you want to do that and not want to
Well,
have words like that fun like that with your wife.
Let me give you an example. All this is out of context. For example, that was not even the machete in question. I didn't even have that one at the time, and she overdrafted yesterday.
Well, he said it was out of context, it's taken wrong. What did it say? I have a beeper. I'll bleep it out.
Dr. Phil, we're talking about sex, stuff like that. You know, this was not appropriate. It wasn't appropriate.
That seems kind of unambiguous.
He got you.
No, I'm just saying that seems kind of unambiguous unless she's a glass blower or something. I don't know.
Well, it's joking that went out of hand, and that was my fault.
But you did break the remote.
I don't know what he's talking about as far as the remote. I'm sorry, that's a first. I can break one right now for you if you want, but because really...
All right, coming up, Julie says they have sex maybe an average of 6 times a year. She says that's part of their problem. We'll talk about that when we come back.
You had to go on TV to do that?
Yep.
Okay.
He didn't want to be embarrassed, and I know he's embarrassed, but...
About what?
I'm here to be honest.
You said some things that he's going to be mad at you for?
Yeah.
I have a son from another marriage. He's 15. But when he comes to visit, Julie makes me feel like I have to ride him and make him do chores.
When Paul's son comes to visit, he lets him get away with everything. He is a very spoiled child.
She antagonizes me to tell him what to do. I have to be the middleman.
It's time for you to stand up as a father. He needs a little discipline.
I wish I could just spend quality time with my son and not have Julie, nagging.
So, do you resent her?
Probably is now.
Why?
Because...
Have you said some things that he's going to be mad at you for?
Yeah.
What?
He didn't want to be embarrassed, and I know he's embarrassed, but...
About what?
I'm here to be honest, and I want some doggone help. We need help. I want our love life to be fixed. I want you to get motivated more around the house.
You had to go on TV to do that?
Yep.
Okay. Well, we're here. It matters to me, so it was not my choice.
Well, I've been listening to you yell and scream at her in a highly abusive way. So, yeah, I think you did have to come on TV to do that, because I think you're a loudmouth bully when you're behind closed doors.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I think so. I mean, let's listen to it. Let's listen to you talking to her.
This is a moron. You can't even operate a car like that. You need a horse, you idiot. I work my off for you, and all you do is me over. I'm so sick of you. Go the away from me. Just go kill yourself, you loser. I hate your guts. You're just killing me. You don't even care. You user. You're just an evil, and I hate you. I regret the damn mention. I'm so sick of you and your never in it, and it's never your fault.
You want to be mad at her for coming on, we had to come on television to do this? Yeah, because an abuser isolates their victim. They get them behind closed doors by themselves where they can't fight back. They impose their will. They yell and scream, and that's abuse, and you are a loudmouth bully when you do that to your wife. Now, tell me that's out of context.
No, I can't.
Go kill yourself. I hate you.
That's also a boiling point, and I don't...
But it's okay for you to talk to me like that. I don't care how bullying you get. You don't treat a woman like that. You don't treat your wife like that.
You either get help or you get away, because that's not okay.
Well, first of all, I can say this, and with all honesty, I do have a loud mouth, and that's terrible, but I've never put my hands on you, ever. I never would. And for you to say that is a complete lie, and you know it is.
You just said in the video that you shoved me, but you really were choking me. You had both, and that was the night that I felt I needed to call help. So I dialed 911.
I have a different opinion on that.
Right, like you have with your son in that incident, too.
Let's assume you said, maybe I pushed you harder than I should have. Okay, that's what you said on the tape. Let's assume she's histrionic, belligerent, out of control. I mean, she did get arrested that night, so let's assume she was not totally rational that night.
That's an understatement, but yeah.
Do you think that's not abuse?
Sure it is.
That is mental, emotional, verbal abuse. And if you can't be around her without doing that, then you shouldn't be around her. If that's what happens when the two of you are together, then you should not be together unless and until you get the help necessary to create an environment in which you can communicate in a more mature fashion. And what you may think can be a little embarrassing in the moment could be saving both of you a hell of a lot of trouble going forward if this turns out to be a wake-up call for the two of you. Now, Paul says there are three major things that Julie needs to fix. He says things could change, things could turn around. I don't know, maybe it's too late for all that. We'll be right back.
If I had to describe what I think I'm looking for in a wife or in Julie is I want her to generally be nicer. The thing is, I don't really like you because your attitude sucks. And I want a wife that listens to me and doesn't talk over me so much.
You know, I need you to help me around the house.
So let me talk. And stop badgering me the second I hit the floor. If you don't have anything nice to say, maybe just don't say anything.
Paul's ideal wife would just shut their mouth and just do what he says.
Paul says he has requirements for the perfect wife. He says, 1, be mute. 2, talk whether things are good or bad. 3, help her husband. 4, have goals in life. 5, be responsible. 6, have common sense. 7, be a nice person. 8, no me-isms. And 9, no drama. Now, in your defense, when you said be mute, you joked and said, I can't believe I said that out loud. You were being somewhat facetious, but you believe there are times she just needs to zip it.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And you said that there were 3 things she needed to change. Number 1, her priorities. Number 2, her communication style. And 3, her penchant for conflict. She just needs to stop creating constant conflict.
Right.
What do you say about that?
Sir, then I wouldn't be a woman. I mean, yeah, I'm going to be drama. A girl does that. I mean, she wants some attention. I mean, if you give me some attention. But for me to just shut up, not have a voice, not to talk, not to communicate. I mean, that's how I communicate. Maybe I need to work on that.
What do you want here?
I want to be treated like a good wife. And not be yelled at like this, and not be thrown around. I want some respect. I want to be motivated more in our marriage. I want us to love each other. I want you to kiss me when I come home or when you come home. We haven't even kissed, like kissed in months, 8 months. The fact that you don't love me anymore, you should, you're here. I mean, I know you love me, but this can't happen anymore. I'm not going to live tomorrow knowing that you could do that to me again.
What do you want?
Can I talk now? Okay. Well, let me say a couple things. First of all, that was terrible, and that was me at my worst. And what I want is for somebody, you, to not push my buttons to the point where I can act like that and then be recorded, which who does that for a later date? Why don't you even do that? I mean, what's the point in that? Is that because you love me that's going to help us? Or you push buttons to make me act like that and then you record it? I didn't know you were doing that. I was just being myself, and that was terrible. And that's, what, 5 times? 5 times over a period of 10 years, maybe?
That's 5 times too many.
Sure it is.
The question was,
Just like you did that.
The question was, what do you want?
I want those 3 things. I want her to be accountable. I want her to work on her priorities and quit creating this conflict. So, for example, if I'm working all day and then I walk in the door and she fires up the argument maker and starts cooking up another batch of turmoil and I act like that, and then you turn the phone on and that's, you know, that's just another bullet in the magazine, right? What?
Well, are you a slow learner? You said she does it.
Apparently I just refuse to quit.
Well, maybe that's good. I asked you what you wanted. I'm going to tell you what I want when we come back.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. She's beautiful
You're not going to class.
and out of control.
We don't want you to end up in jail. Why would I end up in jail?
Because you're breaking the law.
That's tomorrow.
Julie says she tries hard to be a good wife to Paul. She says she cooks, cleans, irons his clothes, and takes care of their 4 dogs, yet she says Paul treats her like a child. Paul says she is bringing instability and drama into their relationship, can't hold a job, doesn't contribute financially, is overdrawn at the bank constantly, and threatens the security of the relationship. Let me tell you what I see here. I will bet that if I knew you at a job somewhere or something like that, we would probably get along just fine. You're probably a pleasant person to be around. I bet if I knew you at work or something and we hung out or whatever, we'd probably get along just fine. I bet you wouldn't treat me the way you treat her, and you wouldn't be antagonistic. I mean, there's a chemistry here between the two of you that's situation specific. You don't react that way to other people in your life, do you?
I hope not.
At work or whatever, and you don't have people yelling and screaming at you. You don't provoke people or whatever. It's the way you two come together. And both of you have very legitimate wants and needs and complaints about the other one. But your way of dealing with them are so illegitimate, it overshadows the legitimate complaints.
Sure.
So she gets away with everything because your way of responding to it is so outrageous that everything you're complaining about pales by comparison. And you, look, clearly, you're in a very unstable situation here. You're getting yelled at, not every day, but you're getting disrespected every day. Yeah. You've lost his respect because I don't know why you're doing some of the things you're doing, but you teach people how to treat you, and somehow or another y'all have defined this in such a way that you're living in a situation where neither one of you are getting what you want. You don't marry someone so you can be in an emotionally barren environment.
Right.
He wants a soft place to fall. Yeah. He doesn't want to come home and the minute he opens the door, whack, 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 which is exactly what you get, right? He doesn't want to open his eyes in the morning and first thing he gets is whack, 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 whack. That's not what he wants. You don't want to walk in the house every day feeling like you're on eggshells where you're going to get blasted for being an idiot, moron, this, that. Both of you are apparently so frustrated about something that you're just venting towards each other something terrible. And that is not an okay place to be. This show without you, our studio audience.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Because we have a lot of fun here, don't we?
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445.
Maybe you two should get a divorce. Maybe you shouldn't. But what you should do is make this agreement. We may get a divorce and we may not. But we will not stay married this way another day in our life. That's what you should agree for certain. We should make that agreement for sure.
Okay.
And if that means you can't be around her, then don't be around her. If that means you can't be around him without lighting into him or what, then don't be around him at this point. What I would hope you would say is, we're not getting a divorce and we're not staying married like this anymore either.
Right.
That's what I would hope you would say, because I can tell you you're not ready to get a divorce yet because you haven't done the work. You haven't earned the right to quit this yet. The time to get a divorce is when you can look at each other and yourself in the mirror and say, okay, there is no stone left unturned. I can honestly look myself in the mirror and say, I've done everything I know how to do. I have no unfinished emotional business. I'm not angry. I'm not bitter. I'm not hurt. I've done everything. I am at peace with the decision that it's time to end this relationship. And you can't say that now, and you can't say it now, because all you've done is suffer and vent. You haven't done any of the work. Give me 90 days. Give me 90 days to bring you some serious help for this relationship and really have you do some problem solving and some issue resolution. And if at the end of that time you say, I'm at peace with it, then you can get divorced for the rest of your life. You can be divorced for a long, long time. Give me 90 days to try to solve this situation with some professional help before you pull that trigger. Are you willing to do that?
Absolutely. Learned a lot today.
Okay. Thanks to Paul and Julie. Coming up, do you ever feel judged because of your age? Next, a hidden camera experiment where no one over 40 is allowed to eat. Wait till you see this. We'll be right back.
Today, we're not serving anybody over 40. Could you just have your mom step away from the food truck?
That's the definition of ageism.
Older people just don't really fit into our culture.
That's ridiculous.
We actually don't think that this truck is a good fit for you.
Ready to get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episodes, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phil community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phil Show newsletter. Log on to drphil.com today. Okay, can you imagine trying to place your order at a food truck and being told that no one, and I mean no one over the age of 40 is allowed to eat there? That anyone old needs to step back from the establishment because you are ruining their image. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, you'd be surprised how many people judge others by the numbers, the number of wrinkles, that is. Let me show you what happened during a little hidden camera experiment. Take a look.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Just one question really quick. You're not over 40, are you?
No.
Perfect, great.
Age limit?
Every day, age discrimination happens in the workplace behind closed doors. And we wanted to see what it would look like out in the open.
We're just trying to look for a young, hip vibe.
That's fine. I'm 28. Do you want to see my
Okay, just as long as you're not eating it.
No, she's
okay,
not
no, I
eating
believe
it.
you. I believe
It's
you.
just me.
Could you just have your mom step away from the food truck?
Why?
Yeah,
it just gives people the wrong impression.
Okay.
You are exactly what we're looking for in our company.
I was shocked. We shouldn't be discriminating anyone for any reason.
Why nobody over 40?
My mom left her job to take care of my grandmother, and so when she went back into the workforce to look for another job, a lot of people would not hire her due to her age.
We're actually not serving anyone over 40 today.
Hey, for real.
Older people just don't really fit into our culture.
That's ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
All right. Joining me to discuss this very important topic is Joanne Jenkins, the CEO of AARP and the author of a new book, Disrupt Aging. So welcome.
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad that you're here.
Thank you.
Now, you guys put this experiment together, and boy, did you tick some people off. What were you trying to prove?
I think the most important thing is that ageism is alive and well, and it's ageless. It's not just about people who are over the age of 40, but it also affects the young as well, whether it's a young student coming out of college trying to find that first job or somebody over the age of 50 who might be transitioning to a new career.
Right.
That ageism exists.
Right.
And I think the important part, if you saw this and it happened to you at the food truck, then why do you allow it to happen to you every day at the workplace or in your personal lives?
Yeah, it's just right there, a big spotlight was put on it, but it happens invisibly in so many other places. Now, Alana and Candace were part of this video, right?
Yes.
The food truck server asked your mom to move away from the truck, right? Yeah. So how did it make you feel?
Well, I was really shocked and surprised. Like, I just couldn't really believe what was going on. And I was like, this can't be real.
Candace, this just makes you mad, right?
Yes. Yes, it does. I saw that they weren't serving anybody over the age of 40, and I did get mad. And I believe discrimination is wrong anyway.
So, Joanne, how do stereotypes about aging really hurt society? You guys deal with this every day.
Well, we do, and I think the biggest area is it puts up these artificial barriers. So people begin to believe these stereotypes and outdated beliefs themselves, and it actually prevents people from living their best life and doing what it is they want to do regardless of their age.
You know, in your book, Disrupt Aging, it said that people that are 30 or under think 60 defines old.
Yes, they do.
Oh.
That's scary, isn't it?
Oh. You didn't have to put that in there, did you? It is scary. And that did used to sound old. It doesn't sound old anymore.
No, it doesn't.
Because people think I might be 60 since I have thinning hair. They might think that. But here's the thing. You bring up some really important stuff for us to think about, and not just to think about as we get to some of these numbers, but to start thinking about early on. We're living longer. You talked about life expectancy growing so much more now than it ever has before. Share that.
We're going to live another 20 or 30 years. The fastest growing age segment in this country is people over the age of 85, and the second is over the age of 100. And if you think about, we're creating a whole new middle age, extended middle age, so that you're going to live more time in your adulthood than you lived in your childhood.
Wow. Okay, so... But the financial structure's not geared for that.
No, it's not.
So we got to come up with the money.
Absolutely. I like to focus it in the book around 3 areas, around health, wealth, and self, that we need to take control and own our age and take control of our health. We need to be empowered users of the healthcare system, not dependent patients. We need to start saving sooner. We can't just depend on Social Security, but we have to start saving so that we don't outlive our wealth. And then this last area of self. How do we, in this extra 20 or 30 years that we're going to live, start doing and becoming the person that we've always wanted to be? How do we find our passion? How do we reimagine who we are at 50 plus?
Yeah, it seems to me that I see a lot of these companies with these mandatory retirements and all. Why are we kicking out the people with all the experience? That doesn't make any sense to me. Let's get rid of the people with the experience and bring in somebody that doesn't know squat. Now, we actually have some people in the audience that say they were discriminated against on the job because of their age. Cheryl, tell me what happened to you.
Yes, I'm an accountant with over 40 years experience. So the owner 2 years ago said to me, "We're letting you go. You can go retire now." And I just didn't think that was really right.
Do you think it was totally because of your age?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's happening more than it should. And that's why I said about sending experience home. And this is something we just need to address.
Absolutely, and if you think about the work shortages that we have in this country, this 50-plus workforce could be a solution for the country.
Oh, my gosh. Now, it's Marquetta, right?
Exactly, yes.
Tell me about your situation.
I was stocking shelves, and they were constantly on me about pick up the pace, you're moving too slow. You need to work like this 20-year-old. And they even started calling me grandma. It was blatant age discrimination.
Yeah, that's not good. So age discrimination is not only in the workplace, it's really all over the place. And your book is about solutions to that. But a lot of it comes with the way you see yourself and your own vision of your self-image, your self-esteem, and how you position yourself in your life and your world, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It is about owning your age, and not in a hateful way, but confronting this whole issue of ageism and calling it out when we see it, like we did in the food truck video. It really is about all of us taking responsibility for not defining people based on their age.
Yeah. And that's why you say health, wealth, and self.
Absolutely.
That's what you got to focus on.
10,000 people are turning 65 every day, and that's going to happen for the next 14 years. And so if you think about how we live today, we need to adapt and get rid of these outdated stereotypes and come up with new solutions so that we can continue to age better.
All right. Well, look, this book is a must-read no matter what your age. It's going to help change the conversation about aging, and we really need to do that. And everyone in the audience is going to get a chance to learn how they can change their views. So you're all getting a copy of Joanne's book, Disrupt Aging. If you want more information on how to disrupt aging, go to their website, disruptaging.aarp. We all learned something today, and I hope we can make a change. And really think about that. Ask yourself if you're one of those people that discriminates based on age. And if you catch yourself doing it, cut it out. I want to thank all of my guests today, especially Joanne Jenkins. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much. I'll see you backstage. Thanks, guys.